This is Into the Storm, where winning starts within. The Mental Performance Podcast for athletes, coaches, competitors, and leaders. No hype, no noise, just the mindset that keeps you grounded when it matters most. Let's step into the beam. One of the most common things I hear from athletes is this: Coach, I just need more confidence. At first, that sounds like the problem, but the longer I coach, the more I've realized confidence usually isn't missing. Preparation is. Think about the athletes you've watched compete at the highest levels when the game is actually on the line. They don't suddenly become confident because the moment is bigger. In fact, the opposite is true. Pressure has a way of exposing everything you did or didn't prepare for. Pressure doesn't create confidence. Pressure reveals preparation. Imagine walking into the biggest test of your life without studying. Someone smiles and says, "You got this." Does that suddenly make you confident? Of course not. Now imagine you've spent weeks preparing. You've practiced. You've corrected mistakes. You've asked questions. You've done the work. Are you still nervous? Probably. But underneath those nerves is something different. And that something different is called trust. Because preparation gives your brain something emotion can never. Evidence. That's how confidence is built. Not through positive thinking, not through motivational speeches, not through hoping today's the day everything finally clicks. Confidence grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every quality practice, every extra repetition, every early morning workout, every difficult conversation, every time you respond well after making a mistake. Those moments become evidence, and evidence becomes trust. That's why two athletes can stand in the exact same pressure situation and have completely different experiences. One sees pressure as a threat, the other sees it as an opportunity. The difference usually isn't talent, it's preparation. I've seen athletes spend an entire week worrying about Saturday's game. Well, what if I fail? What if I let everyone down? What if I choke? They're trying to solve Saturday's problem by thinking, but confidence isn't built in your thoughts. It's built in your habits. Saturday's confidence is earned on Monday, on Tuesday, and even on Wednesday. On every ordinary day when no one is watching. That's why elite performers become obsessed with routines. Not because routines are exciting, because routines are reliable. They know that when emotions rise, habits take over. If you've trained yourself to breathe before every pitch, you'll breathe. If you've trained yourself to reset after every mistake, you'll reset. If you've trained yourself to compete one play at a time, you will do exactly that. Pressure simply reveals what you've repeated. Parents, this is important for you too. Instead of asking your athlete, "Do you feel ready?" try asking, "What did you do this week to get yourself ready?" That question shifts the focus from feelings to preparation. Coaches, one of the greatest gifts you can give your athletes is helping them understand that confidence isn't something they wait to feel. It's something that they build. Practice should create evidence, not just repetitions. Because every successful repetition whispers the same message. Hey, I've done this before. And eventually, that whisper becomes belief. Research in sports psychology consistently shows that athletes who rely on consistent pre-performance routines perform more effectively under pressure than athletes who depend on confidence or emotion alone. Routines reduce mental overload. Preparation increases trust. So when pressure rises, your training will become your greatest advantage. So here's today's coach's clipboard drill. Instead of asking yourself, "Do I feel confident?" ask yourself, "What evidence have I earned this week?" Write down 3 things you've done that prepared you for your next performance. Not results, preparation. because confidence follows evidence, not the other way around. So here's today's direction. Stop chasing confidence. Start chasing preparation. The more evidence you build, the less you'll need to convince yourself you're ready. Because deep down, you'll already know. Pressure doesn't build confidence. It simply reveals what you've prepared to trust. So if today's episode gave you direction, share it with a teammate, a coach, a parent, or someone who's preparing for a big moment. And if you'd like practical mental performance coaching delivered every week, join the free Lighthouse letter at CoachRonMPM.com. Until next time, stand a little taller, breathe a little slower, trust your lighthouse, and remember, winning starts within. This is Coach Ron. No matter how rough the waters get, the beam is still on, and now you know how to find it. I'll meet you back here next time, into the storm, where winning starts within.
If you like the show, be sure to leave us a rating, review, and comment.